to order. Please rise for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the village board meeting of February 12th, 2024. Roll call, please.
Musician, Kraus.
Here.
Gardner.
Here.
Stacy.
Here.
Terry.
Here.
Giannotti.
Here.
In your board packets, you have minutes from the January 22nd meeting. Does anyone have any changes or additions? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Stacy. Terry.
Yes.
Giannotti.
Yes.
Clerk's reports.
Total tax income received in the month of January, $237,846.34. That's it.
All right, and I neglected to ask if anyone in the audience wished to address the board. Okay. Village commissions, 4th of July commission, trustee Kraus.
Next meeting is 2/27 at 6:30 p.m. and everything's in full swing. It's by the February. The planning starts now. So, anything else you got there, Trustee Giannotti?
Sounds good to me.
I concur. That's all. My report.
Okay. Youth commission, trustee.
I can do that for, yeah. Last week we just had the daddy-daughter dance. It was a little over 253 attended. It was a great success. For the upcoming, next event that they're going to have is March 23rd. And that's going to be the Mom and Son dances from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So they'll still register online to keep everything the same. I don't remember the next local meeting.
Thank you. Historic Preservation Commission, trustee Gardner.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Beecher Library for hosting our display over the past month. The staff there said it drew a lot of interest, and we have had an uptick of visitors at the depot as a result. Our next meeting will be here at Village Hall on the 21st at 4:30 p.m. That concludes my report.
All righty. Under my report, the village administrator and I went to the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Legislative Briefing, and a lot of the agenda did not apply to us. It had to do with downstate pension funding, and I guess a lot of problems a lot of the larger municipalities are having that thankfully we aren't having. We had to leave a little bit early for another meeting. I heard there was some lively debate about the migrant issue and what faced the south suburbs with that, but we're not there to be able to get involved with that. Anything else? Wasn't with that? Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting, but again, there wasn't, a lot that applied to us, so. We got a letter about a notice of development on Cottage Grove Solar Project, and it's in your packet. A company called Generate, they're building a solar farm out on Cottage Grove. So they sent us a letter of notification. The only other thing I was gonna bring up was, we've been contacted a few times. We haven't met in about 3 weeks, but a few weeks back, there were some issues in the area about water supply. There were several towns around us that were basically going without water. They were under a boil order, and people were concerned that that was happening in Beecher. So just to touch on that a little bit, Beecher is the only town in the area that still owns its own water and sewer. So most of the towns around us further south, Kankakee, Bradley, Bourbonnais, Mantino, Peatone doesn't have water yet. They sold it to Aqua, but they haven't. They've got it valved off at the moment. Monee, Green Garden Township, that's all Aqua. To the north of us, Crete and Stager still have their own water, but they've sold, their sewer supply goes through Thorn Creek. So we're the only one that has both. The towns that sell, it's extremely lucrative. One of the local towns, I think, got $16 million for their sewer and water for Aqua to take it over. It looks like a good idea on paper, but you lose all local control. When something like this happens, you've lost control of your water. Water mains break, you no longer have your own employees that can get out there and take care of it. you're reliant on someone else to do it. So we have always preferred to remain autonomous and have control over our own system. Of course, the only drawback being, and everybody's gonna hear more about this in the upcoming months, it is very expensive to have your own water and sewer system, very expensive. Chemicals, manpower, everything goes up every year. So when you start hearing talk about rate increases, there's not a whole lot of places to go. If you keep your own water and sewer system, it's gonna cost money to keep it running. So just wanted to make a note on that because we had been contacted by some residents about that who were worried about the boil order. So luckily that was not us. That's the end of my report. I actually am gonna ask later, we'll go into that at the time, I'm gonna ask for a motion to go into executive session after the meeting. Committee reports, Finance Administration, Trustee Kraus.
Treasurer's report, Don?
January month-end total for the village accounts, $8,326,520.70. The January month-end total for the commission accounts, $237,621.20. The combined total, $8,564,141.90. The January month end for general, $1,389,777.19. The total commission and non-AP payments for the month of January, $449,883.26. A little bit higher in January, we had 3 payrolls that are in there, so that's what would cause that. But otherwise, everything very standard. If there's no questions, that would end my report.
I'll make a motion to motion to approve the treasurer's report.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Giannotti,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes. Then variance reports are enclosed for review, and we have the list of bills. So I'd like to make a motion approving the bills in the amount of $138,675.15.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Kraus,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Giannotti.
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Public Buildings and Properties, Parks and Recreation Committee, Trustee Giannotti.
Thank you. So, discussion of the police facility bid. There's a kind of a little breakout that the architect emailed over to Sherry and myself, just kind of going over where everything came in. I did have a conversation with them on Friday, and they started the process of speaking to the lowest bidder on the project, and they're going to continue that work this week, and finding out, you know, where we're at on prices, if there's some different finishes we could do, things like that, make sure that the bids were actually spec'd properly and everything like that, just some last minute checks, make sure everyone's correct at where they're at. And then they're gonna come back and next week try to sit down with us and, you know, have a little meeting and kind of explain where everything is and what some of the processes can be for the building, and then they're gonna be ready to present at the next meeting this month. So on the 26th, they'll have a proposal ready and kind of be ready to sum all the information up. So, any questions from anyone on it? No. And that concludes my report.
All right. Planning, Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Gardner.
Thank you. Building Department monthly report is enclosed. Building Department annual report for 2023 is enclosed. Update on progress of the zoning ordinance revision. The steering committee will meet again on the 15th. The PZC will be briefed at their next meeting, which will be on the 22nd. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Terry.
Thank you, Mayor. The police department's monthly and annual reports are both included for your review. Chief, anything you'd like to add?
No.
And along with the EMA, both monthly and annual reports are also enclosed. Director Hammond, anything?
One thing, we had our cars in, had all the annual oil changes and stuff checked over. We were told that we're not running our cars enough, that we're gonna start getting damaged. So with the winter months and that, I just wanted, if you see any car going maybe down to Grant Park or up 394, once a week I instructed them to run it about 10 or 15 miles a week. Per Beckers, they said that if we don't start running them, hoses are gonna rot, we're gonna have issues, so I just want everybody to know, so if you see an EMA car going down towards Grant Park and turn around, or run up 394 to exchange them back, that's what we're doing. So I just want everybody to know.
Thanks, sir. Both the code enforcement monthly and annual reports are also enclosed, along with our animal control program and the annual report for that, which I think is still a successful program. Update on the joint adjudication initiative with Peatone. We are still waiting to hear back from the attorneys. They're still actually finalizing our ordinance, so anything else goes on? And then, as far as the LLC board of directors meetings, the administrator and I went, and we also, brought you back a little, graphs and information, actually on LLC, and it kinda, I thought it would be interesting for the trustees to look at it. It actually tells them like when the peak times of, calls per hour come in and what the peak times are. It breaks down from fire calls versus police calls, and so, just some of the different information that we've been, given from the LLC. And.
Is the adjudication, is that the last two steps, the IGA and the attorneys?
Yeah, and he said he would have it hopefully, or he should have it ready by the next meeting on 26.
Is Peatone, do they have theirs, like, along the same timeline?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
they're actually, I think,
Okay,
waiting
yeah,
for
they're a
us.
little ahead, yeah.
It's their IGA, they gave to us,
Okay.
and our attorney's reviewing that right now, and then they'll do the ordinance after that, ordinances. Because I guess you gotta do an ordinance for collection, and then an ordinance, the general ordinance for it.
There are a couple things that we were looking at that we wanted to add in there. Specifically, I think one of them talks about the hearing officer, and it doesn't, because we named, the hearing officer is named in there, but if he's sick, we would kind of want to have, a backup hearing officer, or, in the event that he's sick. And that's stuff, some of the stuff in there, just fine tuning. And that concludes it.
All right. Public Works Committee, trustee Stacy.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Works monthly report and annual reports are enclosed for everyone's review. The Public Works, the Water Department's monthly report is enclosed. The annual report for water billing is enclosed. Sewer Department's monthly report and annual report is enclosed, and the Penfield Street improvement update.
Don't have a lot on it, but obviously with us being in the winter, but one major step was that the lights up and down Penfield have been turned on. I think they look very nice. They do have a little tweaking to do where the light heads need to be adjusted either towards the sidewalk or towards the road. But all in all, they look pretty good. The paving and other work will probably pick up late March, early April. As the weather fully breaks. I know we're kind of in a fool's spring right now, but there are no road construction crews working right now. So hopefully March or April they'll get back on our project. And the 500 and 600 blocks of Gould Street are also included in repaving this coming spring as well. So that's all I have on that.
Yeah, the lights do look beautiful, man, and you guys did a good job with the snow too.
Cool, thank
What
you.
little bit you got.
Yeah, we'll take it.
That's my report, man.
All right. Economic Development Community Relations Committee, trustee Giannotti.
The TIF reports for the 2023 year have been filed with the state. And then just wanted to kind of give a little update on the concert series. We're in the process of all that, and we did hear from the township that they have committed their $10,000 from last year. They're committed again this year, so we'll have a good budget towards that. So planning's in the process, and you guys will be probably getting an email to figure out dates and stuff like that soon. So Other than that concludes the report.
Excellent. All right, any old business to come before the board? All right, would someone be so good as to make a motion to adjourn into executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, roll call.
Excuse me. Giannotti?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.